Solving complex equations using algebraic techniques involves applying various rules and methods to isolate the variable and find its value. Here is a general guide on how to solve complex equations. Simplify the equation. Combine like terms. Distribute and simplify expressions within parentheses. Get rid of fractions by multiplying both sides of the equation by the common denominator. Move like terms to one side. Move all terms involving the variable to one side of the equation and constants to the other. Isolate the variable. Use inverse operations to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. For example, if there's addition, use subtraction. If there's multiplication, use division. If there's exponentiation, use taking the root. Check for extraneous solutions. Sometimes solutions can be extraneous, meaning they don't satisfy the original equation. Check your solutions by plugging them back into the original equation. Solve quadratic equations. If the equation is quadratic, degree 2, you can use factoring, completing the square, or the quadratic formula. Handle radical equations. If the equation involves radicals, isolate the radical term and square both sides to eliminate the radical. Check for extraneous solutions introduced by squaring. Deal with absolute value equations. For equations involving absolute values, set up both the positive and negative cases and solve separately. Consider the conditions for which each case is valid. Use logarithms for exponential equations. If the equation contains exponential terms, use logarithms to solve for the variable. Apply the fundamental principle of equality. The fundamental principle of equality states that you can perform the same operation on both sides of an equation without changing its solution. Be systematic. Take a systematic approach and keep track of each step you take. Double-check your work to avoid mistakes. Remember that practice is essential for mastering algebraic techniques in solving equations. The more you work on different types of equations, the more comfortable you'll become with the methods involved.